Get $1,000 cash back and a free programmable Wi-Fi thermostat with the purchase of any new AC system from Premier Heating and Air. Payments starting as low as $89 per month. Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company. Offer absolutely ends August 31st of 2023.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Ask Curry Maffett Insurance in Dublin if Auto Owners makes sense for you.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Hi, I'm Andy Cullins at Cullins Supply. Cullins Supply is proud to be your Bobcat small equipment dealer. When paths need clearing, buildings need raising, loads need moving, acres needs tending, or anything on your to-do list needs getting done, that's where we come in. Bobcat makes the best equipment to complete the toughest jobs imaginable. Come see the full lineup of Bobcat compact equipment at Cullins Supply and Engine Service, located at 910 East Jackson Street in Dublin or 826 South Harris Street in Sandersville.
Welcome everybody. I'm glad to have with me today Felicia Thomas from Sandersville, Georgia. I was talking to Frederick a while ago, Fred. He probably likes to go by, don't he? But he went to Washington County High School. I was talking about the House of Pain over at Sandersville. So people in Sandersville love football, don't they?
We do.
You have been, after the commercial break, you're going to meet Fred, so you're going to be here to talk about this guy, and you're going to say, what in the world is he talking about, especially if you join this show late. But that's who we're talking about, Felicia's son, and we're going to have enough time to talk to him after a little while. But you, studying on this interview, you have done an absolutely amazing job raising Fred, and you got to be proud of it.
I am. Thank you. Very proud.
So tell me a little bit about him. We don't have 2 days, but I know that's going to be hard to condense for somebody like me and you. We've been talking about kids, before this show started. So we love to talk about our children.
We do.
And at my age, I like to talk about my grandchildren too. But tell us a little bit about Fred.
Fred is the youngest of my 3 children. He has 2 older sisters. He's actually a twin, but he's still the youngest by 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. So he's actually the only male grandchild in the family. So he gets a lot of special attention. So the bar was already set pretty high for him coming into, things because he's the protector for all the girls and all the cousins and the nieces. He comes from a family of truck drivers. He's always been fascinated with trucks. His daddy has been a truck driver for the duration. So he's always been fascinated with trucks. And that was just always something that he wanted to do when he was a child. He would play with trucks, whether it was a trash truck, a tractor. He would hook things to the bicycles and pull it like he was pulling loads. Mm-hmm. So he's always been fascinated with the idea of driving and driving big machines. So that's his thing. He hasn't been a problem child at all. He made up in his mind that that's what he wanted to do, and that's what we kind of stuck with. He always has wanted his CDLs, so we knew there was an age gap, and he had to wait before he could legally drive. So I told him, in the meantime, go ahead and get your diesel mechanic certification or degree in the meantime, and then you'll be doubled over in what you can do for yourself. Yeah. So he took my advice.
Incredible. When I read that about you and Fred, I said, this lady, and I didn't know what you looked like really, but I knew when I rounded the corner, I said, I know exactly who that is right there, because talking about having the bar set high, you set it high too. And we heard Trent a while ago as I was preparing for this, his instructor, he said he'd love to have 50 students like Fred.
Right.
So Trent said Fred set the bar high. So what does that tell us? And talk to other parents listening right now, because we seem to want to be those helicopter parents and be their friend. And look, yeah, we want to be friends, but you're also the parent.
Right.
But talk to those parents now, because if an instructor tells me he'd like to have 50 like my son, it's your son, but like our children, other parents need some advice there too. So be honest and open about it. But what advice would you give to other parents?
Well, first off, Fred came from a very structured environment. There were expectations. It was yes ma'am and no ma'am from the time he could talk. It was no yeah and no and none of that. You respect the adult regardless of their position. Yeah. You know, the elders always get the final say in everything. And I would tell them, even with the teachers at school, if you're not satisfied with something that they do, you don't argue with the teacher. You come and tell me, and I'll take care of it. All in the same token, I provided a very good life for my children. I made a lot of sacrifices for them. So in return of me making the sacrifices, you can do exactly what you need to do because I don't put any pressure on you. You don't have bills. You don't have any extra responsibilities. Yeah. You go to school, you do what you're supposed to do, and you'll see that in the end, you know, that's how that equals success. Mm-hmm. And that was just the expectation. And we started early on. My older brother is a cardiologist. So we believe in education, and that has just trickled down through the years. So that's just the expectation. Whatever you do, I want you to be happy doing it, but you're gonna have to do something. Yeah. Nothing is not accepted in our family. So he understood that. Yeah. So he had a passion for trucks and working on things and doing things with his hands, and he took that and ran with it. Yeah,
yeah. And I've always said, regardless of what your kids want to do, whether they want to drive a trash truck or an ambulance or a tractor trailer or be a cardiologist, being happy. Right. And that makes success so many times because, and something we said earlier, we talked about it when you was sharing some things with me, kind of background stuff. I could just hear you saying this. I said it and you agreed with me, but everything you just said, but also you inspect what you expect.
That's right.
And you can expect these things, but when they step out of line, you've got to bring them back in.
Yeah, I was a strong disciplinarian, and I admit that. I know I was. They used to call me Sergeant because I was structured, and that's just what I believe. You know, there are consequences to everything that you do. If you do good things, you get good return. If you do bad things, then I have to handle it. Yep. So I had no problem being a disciplinarian. I kind of sort of kept my foot on their necks, and it has proven well. My oldest daughter she's a master's level science teacher at a high school. His twin sister will be graduating with her bachelor's degree in psychology in the spring. And then he's going to get his associate's degree and will be.
It's incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, it's incredible. We were raised though, and I know I'm older than you, but we were raised, our two generations, where if I was over at your house playing, I better do what your mom and daddy said.
Oh, exactly.
And if you was at my house, you better do what my mom and daddy said. There was no, I'm going to tell my mom or I'm going to tell my daddy, because if I did that, I'm going to get it even worse.
That's right.
So I'd rather not. I'd just rather do what I'm told. And
That's right.
I'm sure other kids in the neighborhood, when they come to your house, they knew what Sergeant was going.
They knew. They knew what it was going to be like.
I love that Sergeant.
That's
real good. So tell us why, and I know the answer to this, but I still want you to share with our viewers, what made you push him toward Oconee Fall Line?
Well, initially, this used to be Heart of Georgia Tech years ago, and I got my first nursing degree from Heart of Georgia Tech. So I knew that you could go to a technical college or technical school and still get a degree and be successful with it and get a good paying job. I know that sometimes the degrees in the technical side are watered down, but I mean, you can still make a good living depending on what you do. So I think this is a good start for anybody, and it's easy. It's not hard. You don't have to go through the things you have to go through to get into the big universities. It's easy to get into, and you can still be successful, and you can still get your diploma and, you know, have a well-paying job.
And not have the debt that you have in those universities.
That's right. Right. There's a lot of opportunities for financial aid, grants, and that type thing. You know, it all depends on what you qualify for.
Yeah, and what I love about Oconee Fall Line is I've been doing these success stories. A lot of people even think I work here. They'll say, how long have you been at Oconee Fall Line? I said, I don't. I'm just out here all the time. I know everybody. I was visiting when you got here, as you know, but you can graduate with little or no debt. And what I really love about it, they have a vested interest in you. You're going to have a job when you graduate.
Right.
Right. And I know Frederick's already got a job, and I will let him tell more about that in a little while. But in truck driving, I've seen these men and women graduate from truck driving school, start out at $60,000 a year. Now, that, to me, around my house, that's a lot of money.
That's a good bit.
It is. It's a good living. It's hard work, like anything worth having. But OFTC, and it was Heart of Georgia Tech at one time, but they do have a vested interest, and they're bringing you along, and they're already talking to these employers saying, hey, I got a guy that I wish I had 50 other students like. I guarantee you, Fred can pretty well get any job he wants within his area of expertise. But so go a little bit further with Oconee Fall Line. Somebody watching right now, they think maybe somebody that a non-traditional student that lost their job. They may be your age, may be my age, but they lost their job. They don't know what to do, and they say, "There's no way I can go back to school now." What would you say to encourage that person?
I would encourage them to reach out. Everybody that I have come in contact with, even the person that I came to today when I was looking for you, she didn't just point me down the hall and say, okay, go there, somebody there help you. She got up and went and she took the initiative to help me find where I was trying to go. Everybody has been warm and welcome. And I'm sure if anybody needs assistance, if they reach out, anybody they come in contact with is going to help them the same. That's what I've encountered, and I don't think it'll be any different for anybody else. And there are so many programs and so many different things you can do. There has to be something. If you name your passion, I'm sure somebody in admissions can help you find what it is that you can do.
And it is. It's like that. I see people, total strangers, and that's what they'll do. They'll get up and instead of like a lot of department stores, they'll say, go down there and turn right, back left. You just as lost in as you was when you got there. But they are so helpful here.
Everybody has been helpful.
Yeah, everybody. It don't matter what their job, from the president on down. We were talking about Dr. Adams a little while ago. You would never know she's a vice president in this organization because I have seen it. She will help you. She wants you to succeed, and I know this for a fact when she runs into students in the community at Walmart or Kroger, wherever.
She acknowledges them.
Yes, and they acknowledge her as that woman who helped them to succeed. And that's really what it's all about.
Right.
So before we take a break and bring Fred in, what about, you wanted to come on to school because you knew there was an age limit. It was 21. They dropped it back to 18, I think, now, hadn't they? I think the governor is supposed to be dropping it back. Because there's so many truck drivers needed right now. I think there's about 80,000 shortage in the United States. But Governor Kemp has just decided to roll it back. I don't know what the date is, but regardless, Fred's 20, and you had him go ahead, and what better thing to do than diesel technology? Because you're driving a diesel truck, it tears up.
You can fix it yourself.
Instead of calling somebody that comes in and charges you God knows what. And you have to wait, and that time down is costing you money. So that was just perfect. I'm going to ask him in a minute, but what did he think about that when you said you need to go ahead and start and get in something that will help you later down the road?
He listened to me. Usually when I talk to my kids, they know whatever advice I'm giving them is sound. So if I say it, then I must have some kind of intuition that tells me that it's going to work. So he listened to me. I didn't get any rebuttal from him. He did it, and he sees that it paid off.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to see in a minute, he's a good-looking kid. He is so well-mannered. And you're right. From the minute I shook his hand, a good firm handshake is a part of greeting someone. Don't break my hand, but a good firm handshake, is important. But you can just tell immediately. They say that first impression is a lasting impression. It's hard to make a first impression again. And no doubt Fred gives you that first impression. It's a good one. And so I know with employers, and he had that when he got here. And all they had to do was teach him the skills of the trade. And I'm sure he paid attention. I'm going to talk to him about this in a minute. And the bad part about it, you're going to be behind the camera watching like he's behind the camera watching us now. So, and you'll be facing him. So I won't be able to see you, but when you shake your hand or something, but I doubt you're going to have to do that. But anyway, thank you so much for coming over from Sandersville. I know you had to drive a little bit and you went out of your way. We've been trying to put this together for a month or so.
Right.
It was so important to me to talk to y'all because when I read the story, I wanted to meet y'all first of all, and I sure wanted to show our viewers what Oconee Fall Line can do for other people.
Yes, sir.
Because it has helped so many people succeed. Just like you talking about nursing, I love to go in when I go in for tests or whatever, the doctor, hospital. Many times I've had them say, "Mr. Deal, we've got a student here from Oconee Fall Line. Do you mind if they come in? They're in clinical." I said, "Oh, bring them on in. I love Oconee Fall Line. Bring them in, let them learn." And I encourage you to do the same. You're having a test, you're having a sonogram or whatever it might be. Let them come in. How else are they going to learn?
That's right.
Let them come in. All they're going to do is observe. And you can be helping a future nurse or respiratory or whatever. And you may not know this, but the head of our respiratory at Fairview, he just took a job at a very large hospital, but he was a graduate of Heart of Georgia Tech, and he was the head honcho.
Okay.
The man in charge of all the respiratory at Fairview. So that degree at Heart of Georgia Technical College, he was running the entire respiratory department at a major hospital.
That's awesome.
And he's even in a bigger one now. So I say that to y'all. You got to brag on Chris Kersey. A lot of you know Chris, but also to let you know there's nothing you can't do. There's nothing you can't do if you set your mind to it.
That's right.
So before we go, though, I don't want to go to the break and bring Fred in without giving him the opportunity. Is there anything that I've not asked or that you may have thought of? Is there anything you'd like to say to our viewers before we go?
Well, first, thank you for having us. And the interview did mean a lot to me, so it was no problem to shuffle my schedule around to be here. I'm just glad that we have a positive, a successful story that we can share with others to possibly inspire somebody else who may feel like, who may be feeling doubt, like they can't do it. So I'm just glad that I can be an inspiration and that, my son also can inspire. I can inspire from my level and he can inspire from his.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen. Amen to that. So we're going to take a commercial break and bring you the man of the hour. And I'm not putting any pressure on him because Mama done put it on him. I say that in jest right there. But y'all stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dustin Gay. I'm a local orthopedic surgeon with Houston Clinic Orthopedics, and we'd really like to invite everybody to come out to our new office facility to take a look at it. It's a larger space with physical therapy, and we're just excited to have it, and we'd love for people to come out and visit us.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin.
School's back in, and we all know what that means. Then go to the end. Oh! God, whether it's football or softball or any other fall sport, Dublin Chevy GMC is here for you. Fall is in the air here in Middle Georgia, but the deals are still smoking hot at Dublin Chevy GMC. Line up in that first group right now. Hey, hey. The scouts say we can't catch, throw, or run well, but they all agree we sure do sell cars well at Dublin Chevy GMC.
How to outsmart the outdoors. Think fast. That needs work. That needs trimming. That needs cleanup. But all that work takes a lot of tools. Lucky for you, that tool, that one, they're all the same tool. That's smart. Super smart. That's the Echo Pro Attachment Series. Gas-powered, battery-powered. 16 attachments for hedging, edging, trimming, tilling, cutting, blowing, paddling. Yeah, that too. It's outdoor grade, professional grade, commercial grade, which is great for making your yard look like it belongs in a commercial. Echo, power on and on.
Hey, I'm TJ with Dublin Outdoors and Power Sports, formerly known as Myers Equipment Supply. We're your full-line sales and service dealer for Echo and Shendawa handheld products.
Hi, I'm Perry Williamson, and we've been baking here at Williamson's Bakery since 1927. In 1965, my grandfather, Merle Williamson, hung our name on this bakery. Ever since then, people have been stopping in for the Williamson's tradition. We invite you to do the same here at 1634 Veterans Boulevard, or catch us on Facebook, or just come get you some.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm glad to have with me now, as promised, the man of the hour, Frederick Walker. We'll call him Fred. How about that?
That's fine.
So you heard everything me and your mama talked about. So was anything you disagree with what your mama said?
I don't disagree with anything.
Yeah, you better not. So let's get that out of the way to start off with. But how has it been coming to Oconee Fall Line? You've driven to Dublin. You have come to Dublin, that's quite a discipline to be able to drive back and forth from Sandersville, but you came over here and you've got it. So tell me why, other than your mom wanting you to do it, but you had to do the work. So tell me about your experience at OFTC.
My experience at OFTC has been nothing short of, amazing. When I first started, I was hesitant. When I graduated, I was always, let's go to work, make money, go to work, make money. Yeah. And when she found out I wasn't at first pursuing another form of post-secondary education, she come to me and she told me, she's like, look at the family history. Everybody has some sort of degree, some kind of education behind their name, even if it's just a certificate. She was like, it's up to you to carry it on. We're not going to cut it short here. And so I still remember that day like it was yesterday. I had been running around all day, working, cutting grass, and I come home and I got my older sister to help me fill out my application, and they accepted me. And I went to orientation. And when I went to orientation, I was sitting there, I was like, am I gonna really enjoy this? And I took my math class first. Math was always my general weakness. Math gave me the most trouble, and I had an amazing instructor, and Miss Marion. She's from Dublin campus. But I took my math class first, and I passed it. And then, I got into the rest of my classes, smooth sailing. And, my amazing instructor, Brent made it a whole lot easier. Any questions I got coming to Brent, or if I can't reach Brent, I'm always in and out of Sandersville campus. Mm-hmm. Dr. Adams, admissions office. I can always go in there and get help. So
it's great to know you got that to fall back on, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is. So first you went, because you had to wait on that because of age, being 21, but you went in diesel equipment technology, and that's where Brent grabbed a hold of you. And you heard me say to your mom, you heard Brent say it earlier, he wish he had 50 students like you. Right off the chute, when you heard that, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel amazing that somebody thinks of me that way. Yeah. I honestly don't feel like I'm anybody special. I'm just another person. I show up, I do what I'm supposed to do, I do what I'm expected to do. I don't like to argue. You want to do something, I do it. It's just that.
So growing up with all them women in the house, you better not argue. You was outnumbered, wasn't you?
I was outnumbered all the time.
Yeah, the only boy kind of in the lineage there. In my family, it's the opposite. There's a bunch of boys, and there's one girl. And my granddaughter's that girl, but she rules the roost now. The woman's always going to be in charge. So you figure that out early. So when you do end up getting married down the road, you already got the training and know. You just say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and you just go on with life. Right? That's
yes, sir.
Yes. That means no. Yeah, he said yeah.
It was always yes, ma'am, no, ma'am.
That's right.
Nothing else.
Absolutely, because manners should never go out of style. I don't care what generation it is, and that's why when I first came in, before me and your mom ever talked, it was yes sir, no sir. We talked about it, and you was just so well mannered, and that comes from being trained. Well, a lot of truck drivers in your lineage too. So out of those truck drivers, is there someone particular that kind of stood out to you, and you said, "That's what I want to do right there"?
Out of all the truck drivers, I have to say, of course, my dad. My dad has been driving truck 29 years.
Yeah.
Before I was born, and I was a little boy. I was fascinated with it.
Yeah.
Get up, see my daddy leave. I go stand in the bedroom window and watch him roll down the road. If I was outside and I ever heard the brakes come on, I come running up the driveway, going to my daddy. I go jump on my daddy. I go up there, jump in the truck, and he'll cut it off and say, we got to go inside, and I'd just be so upset. And the older I got, I think once I got around 14, 15, I made my mind up that, I can learn the ropes from him, and, this is what I want to do. So I would ride to work with my dad, get up, leave 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 10, 11 o'clock at night. And, we ride all night long and, just learn how to run the highway. and learn how to drive a truck. I knew how to drive a truck just from watching my dad before I even got in the driver's seat over one. So, you know, I learned a lot from my dad though.
And how did it make him feel when you told him what you wanted to do?
You know, he was like, well, he's been around a while, so he's kind of seeing the way it's going now. You know, first thing he told me, he was like, well, trucking ain't really what you want to do. It's not what it used to be. But I told him, I said, man, my heart ain't it. You know, I grew up watching you do it. Everybody, my uncles, you know, this is what I want to do. When I hop into a truck, I feel so at home. You know, I'm so at peace. This is what I want to do. I like driving. So.
Well, you got passion. It's really what you want to do. That's half the battle. You know, everything has difficult things, but it's still truckers are. This country don't turn without truckers. So, and you know that. I mean, everything, these shirts we got on, these shoes we're wearing, all this equipment we see in the background, a trucker had to bring it. So that's how important the job that you are undertaking. Does that give you any added pressure when you think about it?
It doesn't give me any added pressure, you know. It's what I want to do. I'm ready for it. You know, he told me, when I told him I wanted to drive trucks and the way the market was going, he was like, well, he said, you can put it on the rail, you can put it in the air, but you cannot get it to the door without a truck.
Yeah.
You got to always have a truck to get it where it's going.
Yeah.
And it'll never go out of style. So.
Yeah. So I love hearing the story your mom told, and you was listening, but even when you was little, you had little trash trucks and ambulances and all these kind of things. Even at an early age, it was kind of in your subconscious, I guess, is the best way to word it. But even when you was little, like you said, you heard your daddy coming in, you hear them air brakes, you know daddy was home, and when you heard that diesel fire up, even in the early morning hours, you knew daddy's leaving. I got to run to the window so I can see him pull off. So, but even when you was young, playing with those little toys, even then, you admired what your daddy did, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about Trent.
Okay, so more about Brent. When I first met Brent, it was August of 2021. You know, first day of classes, you know, come out, classroom packed full, and it got slim as time went on because I didn't expect it to stay full, but, you know, Brent pretty easy going, you know. He's not hard to learn from at all. You know, you get out there, everybody get quiet, watch what he's doing. You know, Brent's not the kind to yell at you. He's not going to hound you about anything, you know. You got any problems, you come to him and tell him, look, having problems with this, you know, okay, so-and-so, you can do this and that, he'll come help you. And then if he notices that you're not doing your work, because he had to get on me a couple of times, you know, assignments were open at the beginning of the semester. I might wait 2-3 weeks before I get started. So I come to class one day, he'll pull me to the side, when are you going to get started? So I get started, and I start cramming and cramming and cramming, and I complete all my assignments, you know, A's, B's,
on time.
Whatever it takes, on time.
So you completed, first of all, your certificate in truck driving, right? And
the diesel diploma.
Diesel diploma first.
Yes, sir.
And then you're still in school. Now you got your first certificate this past June, right?
Yes, sir.
That's when it was. So what are you doing now to complete the next phase?
Well, I just enrolled again. You know, classes start next Monday, so I'm on my way to achieving my associate's degree. So.
Well, good. Yeah, so you just moving forward at whatever. You may be, I've met a couple students out here, they've got certificates in 4 or 5 things because knowledge is power. And I'm sure your mom's taught you that. You know, you can't take away knowledge, you know, once you have it. My oldest grandson took welding in high school. He said, Papa, I'm never going to weld. I said, but you'll always have that. You may want to help your neighbor one day weld something. You just never know when you may use that welding. So it's the same thing with what you're doing now. So well, we're going to take another quick break, and we're going to come back and wrap things up. Stay with us.
I'm Heath Richter, and we just want to invite everybody to come on down to the Houston Clinic and check us out at our new facility. We've been in Dublin for a while now, obviously, but have a new office here, and we'd just like you to come down and see some of the new stuff we're offering. And if you need to get checked out, we'd be glad to do that for you. We've got able to do some ultrasound-guided injections now and physical therapy and just a little bit better space, so hopefully we can get you in and out of here a little bit quicker.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin.
If your family's hot and miserable, just add an AC tune-up for only $109 from Premier Heating and Air, and you'll be cool and happy. Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company.
Now's the time to get a great deal on the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience. Professional grade mowers, durable sidekick utility vehicles, and versatile compact tractors. It's the equipment you need to take care of your land. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months, plus save up to $800.
Your Kubota dealer is Mid-State Tractor and Equipment, 1325 North Jefferson, Dublin.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm continuing my conversation with Fred Walker from Sandersville, Georgia, Washington County High School, the House of Pain. All you athletes know about it out there. If you ever played at Washington County, you know what the House of Pain means, don't they? They bring it to you.
Yeah.
So, what was it like growing up in Sandersville and growing up in your mama was a disciplinarian, and I know that. I grew up in that same kind of household, and then my kids were brought up in that same kind of household. But what did it mean to you having a mom that was invested in you and expected the best out of you?
It meant a lot to me. Early on, I realized that my mom, she wasn't here to play the radio with me. I think my last time I remember me having, of course, all the kids are antsy. They get, you tend to get bad in school. My last time getting in trouble before I really realized that, she ain't playing with me, I was in 2nd grade. I got written up, and, I come home that day, and it was, it me and her that day. Yeah. And from that day forward, I just kind of looked at it, I got to go to school, do what I'm supposed to do. Not only for my image, but for her image. And my grandmother was a school teacher, too. So that was another reason why, when I got to school with no playing the radio, if I go in class and start acting funny, they go on to find grandma. Grandma didn't play the radio neither. Because what do you think she got it from?
Oh, yeah.
It all started with my grandma. So, and, it really hit me when I think I might have been in 4th grade. I tried to fake sick one morning. And, she's a nurse, so she come upstairs. She felt on me. She touched me. She said, "You all right? You going to school?" And before she left the room, she turned around and looked. She said, "You try that again." Because she said, as long as I'm getting up going to work, you're going to school. Yeah. And it paid off along the way. When I graduated, 12 years of perfect attendance, I went to school every day, never missed a day. So
yeah, you learned early, didn't you?
I learned early what was expected of me. So.
Yeah. There was a lot expected of you. So you're working at Howard Shepherd. I want to talk a little bit about it, but what did you do for yourself this last Valentine?
Well, Valentine's Day, I was in commercial truck driving school, and my road test to get my license so happened to be on Valentine's Day. So I woke up that morning, I read my pre-trip papers again, and I showed up early, had time to eat breakfast, I had time to sit there in the car and think, okay, we're here, we're gonna do this, I'm not going to fail. I'm going home with my license. And Valentine's Day, I took my road test. I passed.
Mm-hmm. Knocked it out. So you went to work with Howard Shepherd, and we do have this age limitation as of right now. Probably by the time you turn 21, they'll change it to 18. But you'll be better equipped anyway, either way you look at it. But so you went to work at Howard Shepherd when?
I went to work at Howard Shepherd in January of 2022. So. At the time, I was still in diesel classes, and, I said, since I'm in class, why not try to go ahead and get to work in somebody's shop? And went to work at Howard Shepherd. It was nothing short of amazing. When I first come to work, they took me in, just like family. And outside of class, being at work made me the mechanic I am today. Mm-hmm. And especially, I want to give a thanks to one of my coworkers. Jermaine Wright took me in. When I first come to Howard Shepherd, we worked a weekend shift together, and he taught me a lot of stuff, everything I know. My first set of brakes, how to put tires on, and that was about the 2nd or 3rd weekend. I was still struggling with putting tires on. I never forget it. I was trying to put an outside tire on the chassis, and, he told me, he said, "You're going to get it." And he walked away. It might have took me 15, 20 minutes, and when I got it on, he heard the tire gun going. He come back, and he walked around the corner. He said, "Well, you got it." He said, "You know how to do it now." Yeah. And I learned a lot from him.
Yeah, that is amazing though. and you'll be that same kind of mentor for people in the future because you know what it meant to you. So in the future, when you're helping people, you're going to say the same thing. You're going to get this, and you're going to leave them to it, and they're going to get it because the light finally comes on, don't it?
Yes, sir. And I never forget that. You know, we all start the same. Somebody's got to teach me. So one day I'm going to have to teach somebody. And,
That's
you know,
right.
I don't want to leave them hanging.
That's
Because
right.
if I don't ever tell you how to do it or show you how to do it, you never know.
Yep. I told you off there earlier, I think, you know, we all need, I need all the help I can get. You know, we all need each other to build each other up. So, and that's what Jermaine did for you. So, and just by the fact you mentioned it, you still, it's fresh on your mind. So tell me, so at Howard Shepherd, they probably ain't gonna let you go nowhere.
They really don't want to let me go nowhere, you know. I walk in the room sometime all the time, you know. It's good to hear when boss man or people around me can tell you, you know, they come up, hey, this is a good guy, it's a good kid, you know, you got a good one on your hands, you know, if you stay put, you're gonna be running the shop eventually one day. So it means a lot to me.
Yeah, and it is a great company. Great company. I get to talk with them at job fairs at Oconee Fall Line. They always have a crew here. And it is a great company, so you work around some good people. Before we go, I want you to talk to that person now, maybe your age. They've graduated. Maybe they didn't have the guidance or direction you had with your mom and your grandma. So talk to that individual who's graduated and maybe just floundering and don't know what to do. What would you say to them to encourage them to come and give Oconee Fall Line a try?
If you're undecided on what you want to do, you can always come to OFTC. There's plenty of things you can do. You know, go to the admissions office, get help, you know, reach out. I promise you, if you go to the admissions office, they'll take it from there. They'll never leave you hanging. And, you know, it's never too late to do what you want to do. Or if you feel like you went down the wrong path early on, it's never too late to correct your life, you know. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. We're human.
Amen.
I learned that. So, you know, never give up on your dream.
Yeah, great advice, and give it a try, and do what Fred just said. Oconee Fall Line offers over 100 degrees. There's something in there that you can fall in love with, no matter what it is, criminal justice or cosmetology or diesel mechanic, truck driving, whatever it might be. There's so many things, computers, but out of those over 100 degrees, they'll test you and they'll find what your niche is. And we all got a niche, and you got to admit, Fred, out of over 100 degrees, there's something in there. There's something in there that they'll fall in love with. You probably met some friends here through OFTC that probably friends for life, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, especially your instructor, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That I called Trent, but it was Brent, huh?
Yes, sir.
You see, y'all probably didn't even notice it earlier. He's so respectful and so nice. He just went right on, never stopped and said, hey, you messed up there. We're going to leave that in because some of you think I never mess up because they edit it out. But we're going to leave that in just so you see he messed up. But we all make mistakes sometimes, don't we? And we just learn from that and we build from it. So, but thank you so much, Fred, for talking to me. And like I told your mom, y'all drove over from Sandersville, and we have been trying to get together for a month or so. You're working, your mom's working, and I wanted both y'all together because y'all been a team this long. I sure don't want to be responsible for breaking the team up. So, but thank you so much. And no matter how you're watching us today, you may be on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. Fred, I found out people my age, we watch television. People your age, they either on an iPad or iPhone or iPod or something, and they watch TV on those, or y'all do. Y'all watch TV on things like that and read the paper or whatever. So however you're watching us, we really appreciate you tuning in to us today right here on TV 35.
Who can you count on when buying or selling your home, land, or commercial property? Century 21 Durden Cornegay, the #1 realty company in Dublin and Lawrence County. Count on Brian Howell, Charlene Lamb, Adam White, David Deeves, Jennifer Bradley, Mark Bateman, Jay Brantley, Jim Jarrett, Raina Dubberly, Yvonne Robertson, or broker George Durden. Century 21 Durden Cornegay, 1700 Veterans Boulevard in Dublin. Call 478-272-1535 or log on to c21dublin.com. You've been saying you want it, and now's the time to get it. Pool and patio furniture in style with fabrics you want, comfort and durability you deserve. You'll even save on accessories and add your own personal style. Come see the full line of pool and patio furniture at Mid-State Pools and Spas today and bring home a colorful poolside. Now's a great time to save at Mid-State Pools and Spas, located on Veterans Boulevard in Dublin. Mid-State Pools and Spas. We know pools.
12th grade. So if you're interested in touring the school or interested in learning more about our application process, visit our website, tcsweb.org, or call us here at the school and speak with Dawn Lane, our admissions director.